Yeah, I'm Rachel, the crazy photograph. I mean, Aaron really likes that photo, but I really don't. But you know, he took my photo off my slides that I made and put his photo on.
It represents him all. You'll agree at the end.
So I'm a late diagnosed autistic parent of an autistic, awesome young person, and I'm going to stop there for a minute because I need to play you a video from the very early days.
It's really hard. My brain doesn't work like this. My brain just does not work well under pressure. Hi, I'm Rachel, Holly's mum. We've been home educating pretty much continuously since 2015 after 8 years of struggles in 3 mainstream schools, and home education has been awesome for us.
This is my awful technique.
So for us, finding a different way to do life was the turning point for all of us, because Holly had been so stressed and so distressed for so long, trying to struggle through the system and the standard strategies that are used for autistic people in schools and within the system. Stepping away from that meant that we could find our own way and sort out the things that worked for us and learn our own strategies to help us through every day and to make every day a good day. So the system is set up in a way that is very quick to blame families and blame the children for the difficulties they have in accessing school, and you feel like you're battling the system constantly, and at every turning point there's barriers that try to stop you from getting what you know your child needs. And sometimes the system actually creates more distress and stress for the family than it should. It shouldn't be that way. The system should be there to help us to support our children when they've got a diagnosis of a disability. But in fact, it ends up that you fight and you're battling, and it is very draining and exhausting as a parent. So stepping out of the system and learning our own way of doing things and finding out what worked for Holly was absolutely the right thing for us to do. When we finally got the support to get some professional support for Holly, got the funding to get some professional support, that's been a turning point as well, because obviously up to now it's just been us, hasn't it? So Holly now gets 2 hours a week with Aaron to work on self-esteem, confidence, and through learning about creative topics like music and photography, and it frees Holly up to learn in the way that works for her, because Aaron is totally accepting of her and just works out the best way to support her. Do you think that doing the photography, especially with Aaron, has helped? I feel like it's opened your world up again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you were really shut down, weren't you? And you weren't going out of the house, and you were really struggling to find something that interested you. And since you've been doing the photography, I feel like you've been much more able to get out of the house and do stuff and go to places. Would you agree?
Yes.
So obviously, you've seen that. That was actually quite the early days of we hadn't had the funding for very long, but we noticed the difference very, very quickly, having been, struggling to get the funding for a long time. Once we started working with Aaron and the Accept approach, we noticed that, we saw sort of differences very quickly. And when I started thinking about it, when Aaron asked me to talk today, I just wanted to make it as simple as possible. Why does it work? Well, that's why it works, because there's zero pressure. If Aaron, sometimes he comes to us, sometimes we go to him, sometimes we meet somewhere. If Aaron says, do you want to do so and so? And I say to Holly, do you want to do so and so? And Holly goes, I go, no, Aaron, we don't want to do that. And he goes, okay, we'll do something else. And that's the thing. There's no pressure. But in that video, when Aaron made that video, he used that word engaged, and I did ask him to change it, and he said no. But at that time, Holly wasn't accessing the life. She wasn't doing stuff. But since we've been doing the work that we do, Holly has, I think, probably once said, I don't feel like it this week. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. And I think she was unwell. So, that's fine. That we've never had that. But again, there's no pressure. If we messaged Aaron, because we don't phone, we just message on Facebook, we're not coming this week, he'd go, fine, I'll do something else. But it's not just Aaron for us, because we've got Libby on board as well, and I didn't mention Libby in the video because I don't know why, really. Sorry. I have to slot you in. I have to make another one. It's all right, Aaron's making another one. Anyway, we work with Libby as well. We have, technically, 26 sessions a year, which is fortnightly. And again, if I say to Libby, oh, I don't think Holly's going to come this week, or it's, we've had a really busy week and we do next, we just work it out. There's never any pressure. Being valued, Holly she never felt valued in school. She was just another bum on a seat. Nobody knew the real Holly. Nobody, not a single adult in school, 3 schools, knew the real Holly. And that's because she didn't feel valued. She wasn't able to share the real her. She wasn't able to share who she actually was. This balance of power thing, our kids struggle with it so much. I struggle with it as an autistic person. People are not more important than me. We're all equal. And our kids get they go through this thing where they feel like they're not important. They are important. And this is the thing, that with the Accept approach, everyone's equal. Yeah. We all talk about, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where do you think you would like to be, go next? What should we do next? It's all about that balance. Validation. I get it. Aaron says to Holly all the time, mind you, we say it to him as well, we get it. Yeah. We get it, because it is hard. Yeah. It is hard some days. It's hard to get up and leave the house and think, I've got to go and do this. But it's recognising that. It's recognising that it's really hard. And this probably should have been at the top, really, in massive capitals. Trusting relationships. I know so many autistic kids, including my own, who have never had a trusted adult in school. Never. Not one. Now, Holly was in school for 8 years, and in 8 years, she had one person that she felt safe enough to show that she was struggling. Not tell her, but to show her. and that person picked it up that she was struggling. That person was a dinner supervisor. And that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, trusting relationship. If your child does not have a trusting relationship in school, they're not safe. They don't feel safe, and that's the bottom line. So these are. We missed you off again. We were going to put Libby on there.
I thought I did, sorry. Because she's in person.
You'll have to come and stand underneath, Libby. Quick, come and stand underneath. Libby is in there.
She's in the trolley, Rachel.
Yeah.
She's shopping for gin.
So we're training our dog to be an assistance dog at the moment. Well, Holly is. I'm not doing it with a dog trainer. Who'd have thought a dog trainer would be someone who could like just get it and just slot into our life and go, yeah, we can do this. You know, totally gets Holly, totally gets acceptance, totally never says, well, we've got to do this today. They go, what shall we do today?
And she's a behaviourist. Obviously, let's forget. You probably won't
She's
get
amazing. But yeah, so yeah, she does use a lot of rewards. Obviously, obviously, Aaron. You know, Aaron has built such a great relationship with Holly, but it's all based on this equal. Nobody's more important. Nobody's madder. You're just equally bonkers, and we can just get on with it and just do it. You know, that photo was me taking a photo of Holly, taking a photo of Aaron, taking a photo. That's how we roll. I just love that photo. And there was a better one than that, but I decided it was a bit mad. But that, yeah.
Tell them what we were filming and photographing.
Probably me swimming in the lake. Naked. Not
naked.
naked. No, I wasn't naked. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff we get up to. So yeah. And how does it work? Well, it works because it's not their fault, and that's what we keep saying. It's not your fault. It's never your fault. Because they don't know. Nobody tells them. All the time they hear, well, you just need to sit a bit stiller, you just need to do a bit more work, you just need to do your homework, you just need to get to school, you know, you just need to put your shoes on. But it's not their fault, and they don't know. They need space and time. Absolutely shed loads of it. You cannot rush this. And this is one of the reasons I'll spend some of my time supporting families through the SEN process for my sins with this lovely chap here. and I forgot where I was going with that now. This, it's all about time. Yeah, it's all about, well, when are they going to do that? You know, we've got to do it faster. We've got to, you know, but you can't do that. You can't rush it. That's where I was going. One of the reasons the Children and Families Act goes up to 25 is because our kids need more time. You know, they need more time. You can't rush this. Shared interests, obviously. Aaron was absolutely spot on for us because he's passionate about music, he's passionate about photography, two things that Holly's just, you know, amazing at. You know, and we hadn't really done much photography, but obviously it was something that you were interested in, weren't you? And it just kind of just exploded really, and yeah, really, really well, you'll see a few in a minute, some amazing photos that we get. It's just mind-blowing. So it's got to be interest-based. If autistic people are not interested in something, just bin it. It's a waste of time. If they're not interested, you cannot learn things you're not interested in. I literally cannot learn something that I'm not interested in. It just won't go in my head. I'm like, la, my head's gone. Yeah. Freedom to be, you know, again, it's about acceptance, isn't it? You know, these kids, they've really struggled. They've struggled for such a long time, and they just need a bit of freedom to just learn who they are, what they're good at, because they're amazing at stuff, whatever it is, their thing, you know, and they'll, you know, they just need that freedom to find themselves. and learning about trauma, and this is much more where Libby's come in, because we didn't know anything about trauma. We obviously knew that Holly had trauma, as do I. And we didn't know anything about it. So Holly's and Libby's taught us about the polyvagal theory and about chemical responses and stress and how the body reacts, and all this stuff. And it makes it much easier to process it, because if you understand that it's a chemical response and it's not your fault and that it can be accepted, suddenly things start to slot into place and you go, oh, actually, I'm not a bad person, it's not my fault, it's my body's doing this because of the stress. But if I can take a step back and say, it's not my fault, it's suddenly, the world's a bit better place, and it just makes it a bit easier. So that's us, really. That's how we came to it. I managed to get through the video. Did you manage to get through the video? I wasn't sure if I would, but yeah. I was in a bad place when we made that video. I didn't realise until I watched it back more recently. Holly was in a bad place, but I didn't realise I was in a bad place as well. And, it's quite a hard thing to watch now. But thank you, anyway. And thank you, Aaron and Libby.